So, herzlich willkommen. Hey, Peter, it is such an honor and a joy to have you here.
Thank you.
To get to know you, but also just the sermon you gave us was, it really touched my heart. It was about being thirsty, hungry. Maybe could you just recap it for us again, and then I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Sure. Thirsty people, hungry people, there's a look to them. There's a certain sound that hungry people carry, and there's a look, and you can tell when somebody's really hungry. I come from a country, I come from a continent where there's hungry people. And one time I saw a woman come to a window. She knocked on the window. She was hungry. She came out from the bushes, and someone stuck their hand out with a sandwich. And immediately she put it to her face and she began to eat. And it shocked me because I was thinking if it was me, I would have said, sorry, do you mind to go around the corner? I don't want people to see me take this. I'm ashamed. But hungry people don't have shame. That's like we spoke about Jairus. He had no shame as a rich man to be in the dusty streets in front of Jesus.
Yeah.
There's a look to hunger. And this is important because God responds to that.
So you translated that to our spiritual hunger and thirst for God, and that it's like a prerequisite for God's touch in our lives, and that was what Jesus was looking for, people that are thirsty and hungry. What do you think is, now maybe our context, the Swiss people, what do you think is what can hindrances be for us to not be hungry or not act in an unworthy way?
Well, it's desperation. And, when you have everything, it's really hard. When you're in a country that you need God, where there's no government to help you, you need God. People cry out to the Lord. But God works this in every family. Every one of us, doesn't matter where we come from. Circumstances are there. Family issues are there. Marriage issues are there. And so God brings us to a place where we will cry out to Him and hunger for Him and long for Him. And so it's all around the world. As soon as you sense that need, that is hunger. Wherever you live, that is hunger. And just respond to it.
And what would you tell someone that would say, well, I've got everything, and I also, my family, my health, everything is fine and okay. I'm not that desperate, but somehow they still would like to be hungry and thirsty and have an encounter with God. How can you cultivate a thirst or a hunger for God?
I think part of it is to come out of our comfort zone. If you want to express hunger for the Lord, raise your hands higher than you normally do. We're so comfortable. I don't want anyone to see what I'm doing. Sometimes you just need to go out of your comfort zone, cry out to the Lord, worship before the Lord, and show Him that intimacy. King David was taking the presence of the Lord, the Ark of the Covenant, right? He had everything. What did King David need? He didn't need anything. But it says he went crazy. He danced before the Lord. He showed what he wanted God to see. And I think sometimes we need, as the Western church, to come out of our comfort and show the Lord, God, I want you to touch me.
Yes.
And show the world. And by the way, I watch European soccer. I watch British soccer. They're pretty passionate. We get passionate. It's not a cultural thing. It's a thing around hunger. You can be passionate, just show it for the Lord.
Yeah. In our church, sometimes it really is difficult because there's such a what will people think about me, or if I would call out, or if I'd and jump around, dance around. It's also often labeled as this isn't Swiss, or this isn't our culture. It's awkward. It's weird. But in the stories that you talked about, the people like Jairus or Zacchaeus, they totally went out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Do you have some personal moments where you're like, okay, now I'm just going to do this and it's crazy and I don't care?
Well, I share that testimony. I was hungry. We had everything. We had a large church, thousands of people every Sunday. We had the best sound system money can buy. And after a while, the same hunger was there. It didn't satisfy. I needed God. And we went to a conference. And I said to the Lord, I am going to jump. I'm going to shout at the front of this conference because I want you to touch me. And the power of God knocked me off my feet. I was on my back and I knew the Lord touched me. Yeah. And our ministry changed. We started to see people getting healed. The glory of God was in the services. And just the peace. I really do not care what people think of me and our ministry anymore. I used to worry about what people thought about church. Now I don't care, because if you have the Lord, you have everything. He is everything. Yes. You don't need anything else. And when you get that kind of revelation, you really don't care what people think. You have the Lord. That's all. As long as He loves you, that's all you care about.
Yeah. Yes. What a good word to finish with. Thank you. If you have the Lord, you have it all.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We're going to have our second service soon. And for our listeners, ihr dürft gerne kommentieren, Fragen stellen, weiter das liken und unseren Kanal abonnieren. Vielen Dank und auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss.
Tschüss.